can't find the love of your life? Has every relationship you've ever had failed you? Have you had no relationships and somehow women still hate you? Are all women trash? Is modern dating failing real alpha men? Well, as you already knew, the problem isn't you. It's everybody else. And we have the perfect solution for you. Here at your local immigration office, we hear your concerns. Due to no fault of your own, you are completely incompatible with everybody who lives in your country. So come on down to your local embassy and get yourself a passport and possible travel shots depending on where you fall on that spectrum as well. We're happy to help get you out there, you 10 out of 10 alpha. TikTok has always been overwhelmed with all the worst people on the planet. And I think my least favorite group so far has probably been everyone in the manosphere. And you've probably been able to guess at this point what part of the manosphere I'm talking about. I have specifically been made privy to passport bros and want to look into them a little more. Because this is some planet Earth type stuff, all right? This is truly fascinating. Because how does one get to a point? What Reddit threads did you have to fall down where you believe that you cannot find a single person compatible for you in your entire country?
Hello, sir. Welcome to the airport that's located in your city. How can I help you?
I need to leave.
Okay, do you have your ticket?
You women just don't listen. This is why I can't be here anymore. Modern women are...
So as much as I use the word manosphere and all of us online use the word manosphere, I actually don't have a solid definition for it. According to the literal Google definition, is a collection of websites, blogs, and online forums promoting masculinity, misogyny, and opposition to feminism. Communities within the manosphere include men's rights activists, incels, men going their own way, pickup artists, and fathers' rights groups.
Okay.
Who I guess rather than going through the process of maybe improving themselves or dating people who are more compatible with them, have now decided to flee their country. And alongside that, become the worst people now, not just in their city,
but on the planet.
The issue is the fact that because women aren't traditional and don't want to stay home and cook and clean, that men don't want them anymore and they're ruining the family. Simultaneously, though, they are very against gold diggers, obviously. I am a bit confused as to how they're supposed to be full-time stay-at-home but also not care about your income, but we move. God, you don't realize how confusing all of this is till you say it out loud. Some of them want someone who's like a full stay-at-home wife, but a lot of them still do expect their partners to contribute to the household financially to some degree, which is ironic because literally they seem to want so desperately to bring back a lot of traditional roles, except the ones that involve women being completely financially dependent on their husbands. So they want someone more or less who is more traditional and willing to take on the majority of the housework, but simultaneously not so traditional that they don't work. So the passport bros are really in chase of this ideal woman, which depending on how you want to spell it out, is a mommy that they can also
Mash.
They're basically looking for a primary caregiver that will sleep with them. Modern women are often too masculinized because they have their own money or they have too high of a body count, which I can confidently say I've never
Killed anyone.
So that's when you board the plane, baby. They fly to a foreign country, very often somewhere in South America or Asia, to find their beautiful and traditional wives who will definitely be okay with being taken advantage of. Who will essentially just be an alive doll who will cook and clean for them and tell them that they're the
Best.
Here we are, conveniently in a location that's usually third world and usually doesn't have English as the first language. That's probably just a coincidence though. And once they get to these third world countries, they start the prowl for their wives. A lot of them like to talk about how desired they feel in these countries, that they notice that tons of women will come up to them while they're walking in the streets, and they never felt like that back home. Because in a lot of ways, I see how that could mess with someone's sense of self if you don't feel like you're attractive to the people that you want to be courting. Now listen, I'm not saying that the people there don't find them attractive and that some of them might not be approaching them being like, that is husband material. But I have been a tourist before. And I've also been a local in a place that gets a lot of tourists. You stand out like a sore thumb. No matter how much you look like the people there, it's always very obvious when you're not from there. But you're getting a lot of attention because you're a tourist. And I know you have a lot of issues with gold digging, so I'm telling you this as a warning, but often you're getting a lot of attention as a tourist to be sold something, which is completely fine and fair. You know what I mean? Tourists are usually coming there with more money than locals. So targeting tourists to sell to is a business move. All right? These women are entrepreneurs, girl bosses. This isn't the desire that you think it is. In many of these countries too, some of these women are trying to sell you things that you demonize women in the West for selling. Just saying. The thing about the passport bros is that I do not think that they don't know this. Because I think if they didn't have some inclination of what was going on here, they would have gone to a first world country. Why don't passport bros flock to Europe? Because they've decided that the issue is not them and it's just all the women that they're around. They've moved to a place where women will simply not be able to see all the parts of them that are totally undesirable to the people back home. Because first of all, in a country where people don't speak English, then the locals there might not realize what an asshole you are because they don't understand what you're saying. In a country that has a way weaker dollar and on average way poorer people, then you could probably get someone to stay with you for longer because you can have financial power over them. The aim is never to become more desirable, it's simply to become less leavable. They're essentially going over there to trap someone who is a lot more vulnerable into a situation that will be way more difficult for them to leave. Because in the event that they do end up getting married and taking them back home to their home country, presumably the US, it's going to be very difficult for that person to exist in the US on their own if they even can. If they end up having kids, that'll make it even worse. But the beautiful thing about people in other countries is that they are not dumb. And we sometimes like to treat people from other countries like they're from other planets. And what is so beautiful about this whole thing is that these guys are unlikable in every country they go to. They are internationally hated. Because I'm not sure if you saw the story, but one of the most infamous passport bros got kicked out of the country he went to. The police of Brazil issued a statement warning people about the fact that he was there. A passport bro became an issue of Brazilian national security. He was a threat to the well-being of people in the country. That is poetry. That is art. Like, dude, you left your country and went to Brazil to find a wife, and the government told people to stay away from you. And please, I am begging you. I am begging for an answer. Oh my God. I need psychiatrists and psychologists to diagnose this because I need an answer, and quickly. How do you get to the point where you are not only a passport bro, you have fled your country in search of a partner, but you've now been kicked out of that country as a threat to national security, and you still don't think it's you? And also, I don't know if this could be a little bit of a reach, but initially when I heard about the entire premise of a passport bro, it sounded like human trafficking. And I 100% lean into the fact that I could be using that word liberally, but I'm just saying, as the lay person, how far do you have to go for it to constitute trafficking? Because if it's not trafficking, I think we're teetering that line pretty closely. Very abduction energy. And it would appear that the government of Brazil felt that as well. I think I made this video to laugh and joke about the whole manosphere because I think that's just how I'm coping with humor. But a lot of it is actually kind of scary. A lot of the premise of the manosphere, I think, is quite scary and poses a real threat, I think, to people's safety, which is really worrying to me. Because the idea of the passport bro to me sounds like they're taking their terrorism against women internationally. And that's scary because people in third world countries with less buying power, less money, who might not speak English, are at a disadvantage when trying to deal with people like this. They are in fact more vulnerable. And I think what's extra scary is that these people are not going over there innocently to try and find the love of their life. We know that. I think that a lot of this is really just a revenge plot, all right? They're mad, big mad, wanting revenge on women, wanting revenge on American women, and wanting to try and flip the script, wanting to tell themselves that they're a prize. Look at all these girls flocking to me. The issue was never me, it was the women over there, those Florida women.
I mean, people from Florida could be the issue, to be honest.
You don't want a partner. You want to just put yourself in a position where you have some inherent control over a woman. This is all a weird ego stroke and some way to mask some painful insecurity or something that you're dealing with that you haven't confronted. You find disenfranchised people, you find desperate people, people who might be keen to marry as a way to escape their home country. A lot of times it also feels like they target people who are quite young. You couldn't survive a couple rejections. You couldn't deal with the idea that maybe it's you. You literally went on a whole abuse trip because you can't imagine just trying to be more likable. And that insane lack of self-awareness is dangerous because we see the kind of people that it creates. And I truly pray, honestly, for all the safety and well-being of women who cross paths of the passport bros. So I want to propose a fix. In response to the passport bros, we have the passport sisters. And actually all this is an effort from people in the first world to get people in the third world a passport, no strings attached, no marriage, no money, nothing on the table. We're just giving you a passport so you can leave. And then hopefully we leave all the passport bros to congregate in one country and and they fight each other to the death. Last man standing is the ultimate passport brethren, and he shall be crowned our king. So what was the point of this video and what is the wrap up? Let's start taking a look at all the Reddit threads that someone has ever been on before we give them a passport. And that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. Me and my teddy back there are glad that you watched. If you have any opinions about the manosphere and the passport bros, please let me know. Thank you for not commenting on my voice because I am still sick. Thank you for continuing to not pour shame me about the sock over my mic. Please remember to like and subscribe, and if you've made it all the way to the end, I am super grateful, and I will see you in the next one.